Hi, my name is Narisara and welcome back. We're going to start off with the fundamentals of yoga and let's get right into it so that you can take yoga classes and enjoy them, break some things down, okay? So pretty much you're going to start off sitting and you can either sit cross-legged like this. Some people have you sit in hero's pose on your heels like this. So depending upon the teacher, how they like to start. But most often you'll take a moment here. You're welcome to close the eyes or just let your eyes relax. Let's take 3 breaths. Take a full breath in. Let's open the mouth, exhale. And now just through the nose, breathe in. And through the nose, exhale. And one more, breathing in. And exhale. This is just a chance for you to get centered again and just come back to a state of calm and ease. Now, first, when you're coming into yoga class, they'll have you probably put out a mat. And let's teach the pose first called downward facing dog. Yeah? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands and they'll be about shoulder width apart, right? Not too wide, not too narrow, but shoulder width apart, yes? And make sure that your hands aren't turned in like this. Again, you don't want them too turned out, but probably these index fingers, the pointer fingers, pointed straight forward, depending upon what's going with your wrists and fingers, yes? Now, when you're in downward facing dog, so you'll come to hands and knees first. And then generally when you're on a hands and knees position, you want the shoulders over the wrists and you want the hips over the knees. Yes. You can walk the hands forward, walk the knees back a little bit. And your body's going to make an inverted V shape where the high point of the pose is your hips. Tuck the toes under. You're going to lift your hips up and back. Now, you might have your knees bent, and that's perfectly fine, right? What you don't want is the weight more into your wrist joints. In down dog, the weight's more back into the hips so that the spine is getting long. And working with bent knees is absolutely fine. And your heels might be descending toward the floor. You're going to be breathing in and out of your nose. Let's take 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Good. And then softly drop your knees to the floor, shins to the floor. And just come to sit for a moment. And then when you're sitting, let's go ahead and roll your wrists around. Yoga's really great. I think that it's just a great stress release, first and foremost, right? After sitting all day. Okay, and so you've learned downward facing dog. Now, let's come up to stand. And when you stand in yoga, when you stand at the top of your mat, now I'm on a round yoga mat, so I can turn a bunch of places, but most likely you'll be in a long rectangle, right? So generally when you come to stand, some people stand with the feet about hips width apart. In some yoga traditions, they want to get the feet all the way together, but your bones might not do that, right? So you want to feel like you're zipping the ankles, the legs, everything together. You're squeezing things together this way, right? And then you want to have a little bit of lift. So you want to have like a little bit of toning of the abdominals. Yes. And you might even feel like the energy rising up right through here, right? You might have the chest lifted. And oftentimes when we're looking, we're often looking down at something, right? A screen usually or a book, right? You want to have your chin parallel to the floor. You can even close your eyes for a moment, stand, feel your chin parallel to the floor, and then open your eyes again. It might feel really weird because we're not used to looking at our horizon. Yes. You want to have some sense of opening across the chest. Yes. And then with the shoulders and the arms, right? Oftentimes the shoulders are curled a little bit more forward, right? You've got a little bit of this action. You want to see if you can draw the shoulder blades onto the back and open through the front of the chest here. So both of those are opening up, and that I might even spin your palms a little bit more center. Some people even have the hands more forward, and you're opening through the shoulders, right? This is called mountain pose, Tadasana, right? Okay. So let's keep moving here and we'll do some things to warm up. So come to the front of your mat. Take a moment to zip the legs together. We're activating the locks of the body, a little root lock, right? So lifted in the pelvic floor, a little lifted in the abdominals. You're going to press down through your feet. Inhale your arms out to the side with the palms up. And then reach the arms all the way up. And then on your exhale, fold over the legs. You can bend your knees a little bit. Come through a long spine. Let your head drop down. Let your hands drop down. And then come all the way back up to stand. Come to that long spine again as you elongate the body forward. Reach your arms out, palms up. And then press to your feet as you look up, reaching up. Your hands might even touch. And then bring your hands into prayer mountain pose. Okay. Let's move on. So drop the arms down. We're going to work with the sun salutations, traditional warming up of the body. Yes. Inhale the arms out and all the way up. Exhale, fold over the legs. And then we'll step the right foot back into a runner's lunge. So when you're in this lunge here, so make sure that's not too short, that you really get your foot all the way back so you can bend in your front knee. Your fingertips might come to the floor here, your palms might be on the floor. And see if you can, instead of having that back knee bend, you can straighten all the way and push that heel back in space. Let your core lift up here. That's a lot of core work, hidden core work. Now make your way back to down dog. Some of you might have to put the back knee down. Others of you might have more easier transition into downward facing dog, up and away. Now when you inhale forward to plank pose, feel your heels draw back and the shoulders come over the wrist. Now oftentimes I see people do this. They don't get their butt down. So see if you can bring your bum down. Draw the shoulder blades back. Press your heels back. You're breathing here. And exhale back into downward facing dog. If you need to bend your knees, that's fine. Prioritize your hips really stretching back, your spine nice and long. And then one more time, take an inhale forward to plank pose. So an all over body toning here, and then don't look between your hands. Look a little bit forward, right? You're breathing here. And this time, just lower your knees to the floor very slowly. That's a little core engagement. And then you're going to lower your chest all the way down. Untuck your toes, lower your chest all the way down. Now, come forward and come into something called Cobra Pose, a back bend here where you untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down. Now roll your shoulders back and lift your heart, right? My back is working on this. This is great for back strength. You can even take your hands off the floor. Now bring your hands back down, elbows by the ribs, right? Not out to the sides, fingertips forward. Tuck your toes under and come back into a downward facing dog. Take a long breath in here. And this time, why don't you open the mouth and exhale? Breathe in and exhale. Let's step the left foot forward into a lunge. Inhale, step your back foot forward and fold over the legs. Now reach your arms out and all the way up to stand, palms facing up, lifting the heart to the sky. And return to mountain pose. Bring the hands into prayer. Breathe here. All right, lower the arms down. That was round one. Inhale the arms out and all the way up. Exhale, fold the legs. Bend the knees if you need to. Long spine. Now let your head drop. Now step your left foot back into a lunge. Okay, and then again, try to bend the front knee. Try to lift up in the belly here. And really straighten the back leg. Push your heel back into space. And back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale forward to plank pose. And then don't look down, look a little forward. Get your bum down. Lower the knees. And then lower the chest down slowly. This is building your upper body strength all the way down. Now snake your body forward as you press the tops of the feet down. Lift the heart up. Strengthen your back. Maybe your hands come off. And elbows by the ribs. Put the hands back down. Come back into downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And through the nose, exhale. Breathe in and exhale. Step your right foot forward into a lunge. And if it only comes to here, you can take your hand to the ankle and bring it even more forward. Yeah, just like that. Good. Breathe here. Step your back foot forward and fold over the legs. Drop your head. Reach your arms out and all the way up to stand, reaching tall. And return to Mountain Pose, Tadasana. Let's do a slightly different sun salutation. Sweep the arms out and all the way up. Gather the legs together. The palms might press at the top. And then exhale and fold over the legs. And take an inhale. Step your left foot back into a lunge. And this time, skip down dog. Come right into plank pose. See if you can have your hips nice and lifted. Good. Breathe here. And this time, lower yourself into one piece all the way down where your chest and your belly touch at the same time. Good. Move your hands back a little bit. Untuck your toes. Come into Cobra. Now, this time, you can do low Cobra. You can do medium Cobra or even bigger Cobra. Just stay here for a breath. Try to drop your shoulders down so you have a long neck. Exhale. Breathe here. And then come back into downward facing dog. Good. Now remember in down dog, your feet are about hips width apart. Good. Your heels don't have to touch, but they'll be coming down. And you're breathing here. Try to have a lift in the core, and the chin might be coming toward the chest. Good. And then you can either step one foot then the other foot forward, or you can walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. Now we'll do a half lift here. So this time, bring your hands to your thighs, elbows by the ribs, come up halfway, and then roll the shoulders back. Try to keep the back of the neck long here. And then exhale, belly flies in and up as you drop the head all the way down. Now reach your arms out and all the way up to stand. Lift up tall. And Mountain Pose, Tadasana. All right, let's move on. Inhale the arms all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over the legs. Let's do that half lift here. Inhale, hands to the thighs, elbows by the ribs, come up halfway, shoulders back, like you're making a letter L shape. Exhale, release down. And we're coming back right into plank pose. So step one foot back and the other foot back, right into plank. Breathe here. And exhale, you're going to lower down. You can either put your knees down, you can lower all the way down, or some of you lower halfway down. This is chaturanga. Make sure you're only halfway. And then inhale into up dog, right? So in upward facing dog, there's a space between the floor and the thighs. In cobra, there's no space, right? You're breathing here. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Good. Now remember, in down dog, bend your knees a touch. Get the weight out of your wrists, out of your carpal tunnels. Send the hips up and back. Let's take 2 more strong breaths in and out through the nose, right? That's important. Yeah, so just that you're breathing it in and out through the nose. And you can look between the hands, walk, or you can bring one foot forward and the other foot forward. Now inhale, come up halfway, shoulders back, heart forward. Exhale, release down. Drop your head. Press through your feet. Inhale the arms all the way up to stand. And Mountain Pose, Tadasana. Okay. And just take a moment to just stand here and just see how you feel, right? With yoga, you don't always have to sweat. You don't always have to feel sore. You just want to feel more balanced, more like you, right? More awake, more at ease. Okay. Let's work on some standing postures. Let's work through Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. So take your hands to your hips. Step your left foot back and a little bit to the side. So in Warrior 1, your front knee is bent and the back toes are turning toward the front corner of your mat. So you stay there. Let me just turn. So this is the alignment. Right foot forward, left foot. See how the toes are turned in and this hip is coming forward, right? and the arms come all the way up. Right? So this is your warrior one here. Now make sure your shoulders aren't turned, that you turn that shoulder forward. You're breathing here. Good. Breathe here. All right. And this time you're going to open out to warrior two. So warrior two is a slightly more open stance. So I'm going to turn towards the left. I'm going to widen the stance a bit, and I'm going to bend that front knee even more as the arm comes out to the side. My hips are facing the side. The shoulders are facing the side, arms out to the T. And this front heel is pointed toward the middle of the arch of the back foot. Right? So from the side, it'd look like this. Right? As you're going to take that thigh, roll it out, warrior two. Okay. Breathe here. Now circle your hands around the front foot. Come right into plank pose. Breathe here. Your choice to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Okay, and then walk the feet forward, or you can take one foot and the other foot. And then just inhale halfway and exhale all the way down. And then reach your arms all the way up to stand and return to mountain pose. This time, step the other foot back, right? So for me, it'd be the right foot. Make sure you just do the other foot, right? So this is warrior one, right? So lift in your core, lift the pelvic floor, lift the chest up, reach the arms up. Okay. And breathe here. So warrior one, so your hips and the shoulders are facing the same direction as that front knee. Warrior two, your arms are out to the side. The back foot changes. Generally the stance is wider, right? If you can, try to deepen the bend in that front knee. Yeah, open breathing here. Okay, circle the hands to frame your front foot and come right back into downward facing dog. Now take an inhale forward to plank pose. Your choice to lower down. I'm going to do the knees, chest, chin. You can lower halfway or chaturanga. Baby cobra is always fun, especially if you're building your back strength or your arm strength. And come back into downward facing dog. Take a long breath in and exhale all the way out. Look between the hands. You can walk or take those lunges forward. Take an inhale halfway and exhale all the way down. Inhale the arms all the way up. If you need to bend the knees, you can. Reach up to the sky. Gather the legs together. Gather the palms together and return to mountain pose. And lower the arms down. Excellent. You've completed some sun salutations. It's good to warm up the body here. Let's do a little bit of core engagement. So make your way down to the floor. And let your legs come in front of you, right? So try to zip your knees together. Bring your hands underneath. Tilt back just a little bit. And maybe you're here. Maybe your feet are off. Maybe your arms are forward, right? So this is called boat pose, right? Sometimes you hear it called Navasana, also called boat pose, right? And so you might lower down a little bit, or you might lift up. You might lower down a bit. You might lift up. You might lower down or lift up, right? Good. Now bring the feet to the floor, hands back around. And then let's do a reverse tabletop. Press down through your hands and feet. Inhale, lift your hips all the way up. And exhale, release down. And then one more time. Inhale, lift all the way up. And release down. Okay, so let's do a few things to release the hips, right? Tight hip area. Let's start off with butterfly pose. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together and knees out to the side, right? Some of you might have the knees further up here. Yeah, some people have the feet closer. If you have your feet further away, that's fine. And remember that trying to fold forward in butterfly is where we're going to go. But if you're folding forward, make sure you're not just curling the upper body forward. That is so not what we want to do. Rather, you'd like to fold from the hip crease, from the lower back tilting forward, right? So some people might be able to just hinge from the hips forward this way, so it's more of a long spine. If that's so not going to happen, take your hands, bring them back around, press into the floor, and then roll the shoulders back and lift your heart. You should get some opening through the back body here. Soften your eyes, soften the face. And maybe this is good enough here. You can start to inch your hands a little more forward. And then thinking the long spine, yes? And let's keep working with that here. If you'd like to come a little bit more forward, you could bring your hands forward. And then why don't we just go ahead and let the head relax and the eyes relax for just 2 more breaths. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And take an inhale to lift up. All right, from here, go ahead and swing your legs back around. And I always like to do a little bit of a back bend, just because we're forward bending all the time, running, cycling, sitting, that's all forward bending. Yeah? So come to lie on your stomach and just let your hands come underneath your head. Maybe you want to turn your head to one side. Let's do a back bend today called Sphinx Pose. So lift up a bit, bring your forearms to the floor, and your forearms are about shoulder width apart. Make sure that your shoulders are again over the elbow. Untuck the toes and press all 10 toenails down. And see if you can roll your shoulders back and down. There you go. So you have some nice long neck. And you might have a little bit of toning of the lift in the core. And let's do a little neck release. Drop the chin to your chest and roll your head over to the right. Inhale here, exhale, roll over to the left. One more time, roll your head over to the right. Inhale, exhale, roll your head over to the left. Now breathe in and exhale, release down to the floor. You can put your arms anywhere that you want. I'm just going to put my hands here for my head. And then let your back relax, let your legs relax. And I like to rest with my big toes touching, but my heels falling to the outside of the mat. So it's more of an internal rotation. Now for our last couple poses here, flip onto your back. And we're going to do a twist, and then we're going to take a moment in relaxation pose. Right? So when you lie onto the back, hug your knees into your chest. And this might feel nice just to release the low back. I'm going to rock a little side to side. And you can rock front and back. Let's just bring the arms down, stretch your legs up into the air, point your feet, flex your feet, roll your ankles around, shake your legs out. Might be nice just to give your legs a bit of a release. Let's do a bit of a twist here. So bend your knees, place your feet onto the floor, and then hug your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg, breathe in, take a twist so that the right knee comes across the body over to the left side and your right arm is coming out to the side. And just stay here in the twist. You could look up at the ceiling or you could turn your head toward the right and breathe here. One more inhale and exhale. Take an inhale back to center, and we're going to switch. Hug the left knee in, right leg is long, breathe in, take a twist here. And then bring the left arm out to the side. Right? Try to get the left shoulder down. And you might turn your head if you'd like, opening through the chest. Now, as you inhale back to center, we're going to lie on the floor for a moment. And this is a critical part of yoga, the relaxation pose. So I'm going to lie on my back. I know some of you might not prefer to lie on the back. You can lie on your side if you want. I'm just going to instruct for lying on the back. So some people need to take the glasses off. Some people might want a pillow underneath the head. You want your legs a little wider than your hips. And you want your arms a little out to the sides. If you can, the palms facing up. Let's take a full breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. And do that one more time. Full breath in. And open the mouth, exhale. And then I'm just going to be quiet for just a minute or so. And you're just going to take a moment of complete rest. So this is where all the work stops. You can just let your body absorb the benefits of the moving, the breathing. Don't feel like you have to do anything or produce or create anything right now. You can let your mind, your attention just turn inward. And you can just focus the mind on each and every breath. Every inhale, you can observe the chest rising. Every exhale, you can observe the chest falling. Take just another moment here in the quiet. And then just begin to deepen your breathing. You can always take a longer relaxation. We call this Shavasana, corpse pose in yoga classes too. So if you feel like you need a little more time, just let yourself relax here, right? Absorbing the benefits. See that you can do a little bit less. Or you might just wiggle your hands and feet just to wake them up. And then bend your knees, place your feet onto the floor. Roll over onto your right side, arms making a pillow for your head. And then roll up sideways so you can press your hands into the floor and roll up sideways. And then as you come upright, just come to sit for a moment. I'm going to sit cross-legged here. And just notice, right? You can just place the hands onto the thighs, knees. And let yourself be awake, but also relaxed. Take a moment to thank yourself for the time here, to move, to stretch. And we're just going to bring our hands into prayer. Stay in touch with your voice. Stay in touch with your creativity. Stay in touch with your expression. Thank you very much. So again, my name is Narisara. Thanks for joining me, and thank you to Pratt Athletics. And I'll see you soon, and we'll continue to learn more of the poses.